Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Barth again, and today we are going to be talking about something called the Pythagorean Theorem. And this basically was, I guess, discovered or came up with by this guy named Pythagoras about 2,600 years ago, 2,500 years ago, somewhere in there, about the 5th century BC. He was from Ionia, which was part of the Greek Empire at the time, and actually pretty interesting guy. He had a lot of effect on Plato and Aristotle, Socrates, who came later. And I'm not going to tell you any more about him. If you're interested, you can look up, or if someone would like to do like a little video report, let me know. I'll slap it on here. In any case, he came up with the Pythagorean Theorem. I'm going to apologize in advance. As soon as I started making this, the guys outside decided they were going to start mowing the lawn. Apologies. Okay, so the Pythagorean Theorem says, for all right triangles, now again, this is for right triangles only, the Pythagorean Theorem says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now what the heck does that mean? Okay, so in every right triangle, okay, you have a leg, calling this side a leg, calling this side a leg. All right, the two legs form the right angle, okay? And the other side, in other words, the longest side in a right triangle is called the hypotenuse. You might want to say that to yourself, hypotenuse, okay? There's no better way to look stupid than to say the hypotenuse. Okay, it's hypotenuse. All right, so the two shortest sides that form the right angle are called the legs, and the long side is the hypotenuse. Now, in this formula, this Pythagorean theorem, it says that if you take the length of this leg and square it, and the length of this leg and square it, in other words, A and B are the legs, and C is the hypotenuse. So if you take those two and square them both, that's going to equal the square of the hypotenuse. Okay? Now, this means that you can always, if you have two sides of a right triangle, you can always figure out the third side, okay, using this formula. I'm going to give you a couple examples, and your IXL homework is going to have to do directly with this. So you're going to use this formula for every one. Okay, so if I have the two legs, okay, so say for example, I have a 3, 4, my two legs. All right, that's and I want to know what the hypotenuse is. So 3 is one of the legs, 4 is one of the legs, and I want to figure out how long that is. Well, let's do this. Let's say, so my formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is a leg, this is a leg, this is the hypotenuse. Okay, so I just plug those in there. It's just 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. Okay, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, c squared is c squared. 9 plus 16 is 25. Equals c squared. Okay, now some of you are saying, oh, I just have to figure out what number it is that multiplies by itself. In other words, what number do I square to get 25? And most of you can do this in your head. That's not the issue. Now mathematically, that's going to look like this. We're going to take the square root of this side, and we're going to take the square root of this side. Okay, now, the square root and the square, or the exponent of 2, they cancel each other out. And this ends up with c. And on this side, the square root of 25, as you know from yesterday's, is 5. So, the hypotenuse is 5. Let's do another one. All right, so let's say I had this triangle. I have a 5 and a 12. Okay, and I want to know what the hypotenuse is. So I have a leg of 5, a leg of 12, and I want to know how long this one is. Okay, so I'm going to use my formula. I'm going to write the formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's a leg squared. A leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. One leg is 5. So square that. One leg is 12. Square that. Add them together, and I will get the hypotenuse squared. 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144 equals c squared. 125 plus 144 is 169 equals c squared. And if I take the square root of both sides, that's how you solve this. These two cancel again. I get c equals 13 because the square root of 169 is 13. Okay, we will go deeper into this. However, for the purposes of today's homework, that's all you need to know. I would suggest writing this out every time, okay? Substituting and filling them in. Have a great day. Hit me up with questions if you need them during the day. I'll be around.